everybody. It's almost 7 o'clock and I was just working out some lovely technical difficulties. I can't even talk either. So it's not even just the camera. It is also me. Okay. So, so much for joining me tonight. We are going to be making this cute wreath. It is made out of paper. Lately, I have become so crazed about wreaths, and I decided to put my love of wreaths and paper together. So anyone who knows me knows that I love paper. So I'm just going to go over a couple of the things that we need tonight for tonight's. You're going to need this form. And what's so great about this form is it is from the Dollar Tree, and it is $1. It is 9.8 inches round. You can get them anyplace else, but you're going to pay a lot more for them because styrofoam is very costly. But at the Dollar Tree, it's $1. You're going to be needing some scrapbook paper. You are going to, if you're going to use paper that is, whoops, here we go. If you're going to be using paper that is considered one-sided, we're going to be gluing them together. So you're going to be needing 4 different patterns. So this is 1 pattern, 2 patterns, this is 3 patterns, and this is 4 patterns. This one is double-sided, so that one I was lucky. This one is cardstock, but it actually has a dot texture to it, so I thought that was fun. This one is actually glued together. It is also a single-sided piece of paper. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our glue stick and we're going to glue these two together. So anyway, what you're going to need for tools is you're going to need a paper trimmer, a scissor, some sort of tape runner, a glue stick, do it this way so you can see better, glue stick, some ribbon, and then the embellishments for the banner, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later, and some sort of hole punch. I'm using the crocodile. And very important, regular straight pins. And I left them on the side over there because my biggest fear was that I was going to be clumsy and knock them over. So just be careful with those. If you're clumsy like me, put them maybe on the other side. So I'm going to cover them up right now because I know me, I'll knock them over for sure. Okay, so let's get going and start working on our wreath. I decided that I'm going to do this wreath with you. Totally did not get anything prepared ahead of time so that you could see exactly how long it's going to take you to do. So what I'm doing is I am taking my glue stick and I am putting it all around the edges of my paper, and then I am going back and forth to put it all the way throughout the center of my paper. And then I am going to take my matching piece of paper and line it up very carefully. And I am going to press down, getting any air bubbles out. Okay. Rub it all down. And I'm just going to set this one aside. Now, if you have to do any of your other papers, this would be the time to do that because it's good just to get them so that they're fully dry, okay? Because you're using wet glue and you just want to make sure that that is taken care of. I am going to start by using another sheet of my paper, and I am going to cut this into 1/2-inch strips. So you just have to make up your mind which way. If I said 1/2-inch strips, I meant inch strips. You just have to make sure when you cut yours, it's going in the direction that you want. So you're going to be cutting it at 1-inch strips. Okay, so you'll have 12 of them because there's 12 pieces of paper. Now, if you decided that you wanted to take this concept and do it on smaller paper, like 8.5 by 11, you would just have to figure out the sizes. I would pretty much stick to the same width, but your length will be a little bit different. It will be a shorter curl on your wreath, but it's not to say that you can't do it. It's definitely something that you could do very easily. So I'm going to continue to cut this all the way across. I'm just going to move the paper trimmer over for right now, and we'll be grabbing it in minutes. But what I wanted to do is, this is an extra step, but I found that I didn't really want this green to come through. So you're going to take your straight pin and you're just going to literally poke it in, and you're going to wrap your wreath. And as you can see, I can get like three rounds to it. So you just want it so it looks finished. So I just want to have it so it is finished from, if anybody looked from the back of it or through it. You just want it to be nice and neat and clean. So all you just have to do is just stick your straight pin right in. Nice and easy. Pretty simple. Probably the hardest thing is you just don't want to poke yourself with the needle. I should say with the pin. And you're just going to continue to wrap your wreath all the way around. And I believe it was one piece, but I'm getting myself a little nervous. Seeing how this is going. So you want it to overlap just a little bit. I have the feeling that I probably need another piece of paper. I wrote all my little notes down for this, and after my last class, I threw out my notes from my last Facebook Live, and wouldn't you know it, on the back of it was my notes for this class. So I thought I had it all organized and together, and yeah, it is in the trash somewhere from last. So it got recycled somewhere. Anyway, pretty simple all the way around. And again, these are cut at 1 inch by 12. And you can just buy these straight pins just in the sewing section in craft store. I think you can even buy them in the food store. Buy like the non-food section. But look how messy that is. I don't like that. I don't like the way that that looks. So I'm took that out. So if you don't like it, it's just super easy just to pull it out. I want it to look nice and neat. Definitely want it to look nice and neat. So you're going to wrap it all the way around. So I saw some of my little library friends around lately. I was out at a craft fair and saw them. It was so nice to see people. Just tired of all being alone. It's just so nice to be around other people. I think it's great that we're all just trying to get things ready for the holidays. Whoops. It's fun to decorate for Halloween if you have any little kids or you don't. Okay. I don't know. I don't really think I'm gonna get away with one piece. And look at that, there's a little hole there. Looks like we're going to be a little short. But I'm just going to make do. Because it's just so little short. It just probably means I overlapped a little too much, but it'll just mean that I'm going to definitely make sure that I have lots of curls there, okay? So if you have anything that's sticking up or anything, you could just put some extra pins in there. You can definitely try to stretch it a little bit, like I'm going to just do right now. And, or if you had another piece of paper, you definitely could just cut another strip or two and fix that yourself. And I'm just going to stretch that just a little bit, and I'll make sure I leave that piece at the top. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to just put this on the side, because now this is pretty much covered. As you can see, I have a couple little spots. So if you wanted to, and yours is nice and tight, you could always cut a couple extra pieces, okay? But it's not the biggest of deals. So now, again, I'm just going to move my pins onto the side and cover them up so I don't spill them. Okay, so I'm going to take my pieces of paper that I have glued together, or if I was lucky enough to have a double-sided piece of paper, I'm going to cut these in 1/2-inch strips. So it's pretty simple on the paper trimmer. A little bit more difficult on if you're using a ruler and an x-acto knife, but it can be done, and you just have to make sure you figure out what you're doing before you slice. And I'm just going to cut 1/2-inch strips, so that means you're going to get 24 of each pattern paper that you choose. And again, you have to figure out if there is some sort of direction that your paper goes in, and you will see that when we do the stripe one. I'll do that one next. Doing these cobwebs, not a direction that we have to worry about. So I'm just going to do all of these. And for the next two, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut two at the same time and see how that works. Because I feel like I'm going to be cutting paper till 8 o'clock tonight with you guys, just cutting it all. But you can just see how nice and easy the paper trimmer is. Definitely can use a coupon at Michael's or Joann's to get a paper trimmer if they're not on sale already. Right now I think the better bargain is Joann's. I know you guys don't have a Joann's as close to you as Michael's, but Michael's and their 20% off coupons are making me very angry right now. So, so yeah, I've been going to Joann's a lot. I do find myself going to Hobby Lobby too, and they have their own coupon. So, but Michael's and their 20% is making me very angry. So, now you know how I feel about them. Do love their stuff. Same thing with Hobby Lobby. I know they're very controversial, but I do love their stuff. So this is a pile of this pattern. Okay. Now I'm going to go to show you what I was talking about. I'm going to see if we can do two of them at the same time, because it's technically 4 pieces of paper. But you see, this is a stripe, and this is my pumpkin. So I want my pumpkins to go in this direction, but I want my stripe to go in this direction, because if I cut it this way, I'm going to just have some black and some orange, and that is something that you might want, but I don't. So that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to just see if I can line this up and see if I can do 2 of them at the same time. Just because, like I said, we'll be here forever and a day. And it worked nicely. So the only thing is you just have to make sure that it's lined up, because you don't want your papers to be uneven. And I think that everybody was doing that with that one. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll do it with the other one, that the solid one. But with this one, I think I'm just going to do it one at a time. So I'm going to just do this. And I know this is very repetitive, but at least I could tell you exactly how long it took to do it. And you will know. It's definitely something that you could do with your children. They can handle the pins if they're old enough to handle the pins. But this is something that you could do for all sorts of holidays. You could do it for a birthday. You could make this a gift for a birthday very easily and attach money to it, or lottery tickets or something like that, or notes, little secret notes. You could do it for Valentine's Day and add all little love letters or something. But it's definitely a very cutesy little wreath. But this wreath definitely is an indoor wreath. Nothing to put outside. Not weatherproof whatsoever. But you can make it to match everyday decor. Doesn't really matter. It is just a really fun wreath to make. And pro at cutting it all, just like I am. And let's see, this one is almost done. Somehow, when I was cutting this one, oh no, I thought I was off, but I'm not. It just looked very thin, but it didn't. It worked out good. I find when I use my, see how when I use the glue, it stuck very nicely. It might come apart a little bit when we go to curl them, but that's okay. You just keep them together. So then there's that one, and I'm gonna do these two together. But this I just have to cut off at the ends, which is junk. And now this, let me just do a 1/2 inch of this one so that these two will be the same size. Okay. And now let's try it. Technically this one is 3, only because of the fact that the orange paper is Swiss dot, and it is textured, and it doesn't matter about the sides, the double sides, because it's orange on the other side. It's just not textured on both sides, but that doesn't matter at all. And I don't like that cut over there. There we go. Alrighty dighty. I actually am thinking about making this wreath for Thanksgiving, and maybe putting on little envelopes, like buy little mini envelopes that they do sell in Michael's. I do know that they do sell them. Not sure about Joann's, but I kind of can see them in Michael's. And put little notes to tell my family that I'm thankful for them and what I'm thankful for each one. Kind of thinking about doing that. And maybe make one for my husband's aunt for Thanksgiving, because we go there for Thanksgiving usually. I don't know if she's going to have us this year, but I think so. We'll have to see. Have to see how it all goes. Everything is new to us. And hopefully 2021 is going to bring us all better health and better luck than 2020. Which 2020 was supposed to be so good because it's such a cool year, 2020. Yeah, not such a cool year. Alright, I'm just babbling along as I cut this, and I already did 3 1/2, so now I have to do 3. So it's just 1/2 inch strips if you're just joining us. And if you are, then you didn't have to see me cut all the other 1/2 inch strips. So maybe that would be the best to come in on late. You didn't have to see all that silliness. Alright, that's 2. And now we have 1 1/2. So we're almost there. Okay. And if they're off a little bit, no one's really going to know, because we're going to curl them, and then no one's going to see that. Right, oops. And we have this last cut to do. Not like I want to celebrate or anything. Okay. And I like to do mine at the bottom when it's nice and thin. Press here and push straight up, and then I get a nice good cut. All right, we are done with the paper cutter. Yay. Okay, so now let's see, straighten us out. So we're gonna try to organize ourselves just a little and put everything in a little bit of order. And I'm just hoping that my iPad just is being very silly and just keeps freezing. I hope you guys are not freezing, because that would be quite annoying. And if so, I apologize, and I really don't understand why you would be freezing. But I'll have to get my IT department on that right away. Too bad she's on a Zoom right now for school. But anyway, get all of these all straightened out and organized. Because in the end, it'll just make life a little bit easier. And as you can see, I did pick a lot of orange because I just like it. It's a good way to use orange. And I wanted it to have a little bit of a pop. There we go. Alrighty. So there are my 4 different types of papers. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pair of scissors and we're going to open them up. We're going to do like some curling, like curling ribbon. And depending on how thick your paper is, how many times you have to do that. It doesn't have to be very curly, but you don't want it to be, you want it to at least curl into each other. And that's kind of like what I just do, just to make it so it stays curly. So I'm going to do a whole bunch. So I kind of go from the side, the middle down the side, and just curl them. And this is something that you could totally do when you're watching TV or talking to your family or having your family and you do it together. And you could just chat and see how everybody's day is and all that fun stuff. But you're just going to go back and forth. Some of them, what you're actually doing is you're breaking the fibers of the paper. And I'm doing it with the pattern side that I want facing me, so facing up and curling. On this paper that, since it's double-sided, you could totally do like flip-flop it. But I have a lot of orange already, and this is my only real black. And it's not even solid black. So I really would like it to just be the black. So again, we're breaking the fibers of the paper and having it curl. So as you can see, very repetitive. This wreath is very repetitive. Definitely something that, again, a child could do. You could do it with your child if they're old enough to handle a scissor like this. Of course, you could use a child scissor as well. But I think a lot of the kids have gotten advanced in the craft department with all of this going on. Lots of people are crafting, so it's kind of nice. As you can see, I am just plugging along here, and I'm still only on that one piece of paper because there's 24 of each kind if you're using the 12 by 12, because we cut it in 1/2-inch strips. Whoops, look at that. Almost made a boo-boo. But if I ended up doing that, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. see how this could be a nice thing for Christmas, for the spring or the winter. There's lots of fun ways to decorate it. You don't have to put a banner across it like I did on this one. If you made it for somebody for their birthday, you could put their name on it and personalize it. That could be fun. So now this is a whole pile of spider webs. Now I'm going to show you, it's just as easy when you take your paper and you put it together. You see how this is opening just a little here? Not a big deal though. Showing a little bit of the white makes it a little interesting too, I think. Because you're breaking the fibers and you're probably breaking part of the glue barrier also. So, see, some of them open and some of them don't. It's just wherever you put the glue. Well, okay. Back and forth. But it's just a really sweet wreath when we're all done. Just be careful not to cut yourself with the scissor. And the patterns that you can pick are just endless. You could do this with total cardstock too if you wanted to. And just make it like more solid, which would be fine. We'll see how this one opened, but that's gonna look really cool when we go on. Put it on. I'm just gonna put that one on the side because I want to point that out when that happens. Because that one really opens up. I guess that was more probably in the middle. Okay. You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these onto the side and move on to another kind because I'm getting a little bored of this. I want to get right into putting everything onto the wreath because that's where it's fun. This one opens too. And I just used a Scotch glue stick. Doesn't really matter what kind of glue stick you use. I would think that a glue stick would be the best to use instead of a tape runner. See, this one doesn't want to curl, so I'm going to help it along and just kind of roll it a little. I don't know why that one doesn't want to curl. We'll see. I have it so that the dot is up. So let's just see. Oh, I don't think I broke the fiber enough. I didn't use enough pressure. You know how you just have to use just enough pressure so it'll curl, but not enough pressure to rip it because we don't want to rip it. Because if we rip it, that won't be good. Okay. Right, this one doesn't want to curl either. So I'm just gonna help it along and just roll it a little. Roll a little on itself. Okay, so let's just start a little bit because I'm getting a little bored and I'm getting a little excited and I really wanna do this. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pins that you put in a safe place so you don't spill them. And what you're going to just do is you're going to take it and you're just going to put your little curl down, just like that. You can make them a little bit tighter if you want. Then you want to take a different pattern or a different color, either one. You might want to put it through the middle of it if you're trying to cover anything really good, like I'm trying to cover. And you're just going to go back and forth trying to fill up your wreath. So, like I said, again, easy peasy. But when you look, it doesn't really look so easy peasy. But this is definitely a craft that you could do while you watch TV. Do it with your child. I'm just not happy with the way that some of these are curling, so just trying to help them along a little bit. And we're going to go all the way around with this. Okay. See, it's getting so much fun. It's springy. I love it. Not springy like springy weather, just springy fun. And you don't have to really do it in any sort of order. You just kind of want to eye it to make sure that you're not like putting the same pattern like right on top of each other. I'm just going within there just to cover up that spot. And then just so you can see how I did the sides too. Okay? But the first thing that you want to do is the top. So what the area that everybody sees. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And you're just going to just keep going back and forth. And then you could turn them so that they are more interesting. If a curl could be interesting, if that's the right word to use. So you'll just do that. There we go. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So cute, so cute. I actually think I'm going to give this to a friend of mine. Since I already have one, I'm going to give it to a friend. And maybe I'll make her day. Just to let her know that I was thinking of her. And you want to keep going like back and forth, like making like little X's. So it's, again, a little interesting. And if you don't push it in all the way, it'll be very loosey-goosey, and it'll move around on you. And you don't want it to be loosey-goosey. I don't think. I don't want mine to be loosey-goosey. And you just roll your little ends in. Okay, like so. There you go. See how it's coming along, and I could see that I know I'm going to put some back there at some point, but I just want to get around as much as I can. And of course I'm looking at my pile going, oh my goodness, but I didn't do all of these. I didn't curl all of those. So I have to go back. But just make sure when you're putting your pin in that it's not coming out through the back, because then it's something that you could catch your finger on and get hurt. Someone else could get hurt. And we're not all about getting hurt. We're all about just having fun and enjoying the holiday. Making everybody happy. I mean, who knows if these kids are even going to be able to trick or treat? You know, who knows? All right, I need to do some more of my little curling. So if you curled all of yours, then you got to just keep on going. So I'm just going to do a couple of each pattern and keep going back and forth and back and forth. And I don't know if I just froze because I hit my stand. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe by the end of the pandemic, I'll be a professional. But me, I'm shooting for the live stuff because I miss you guys so much. Again, it was so nice to see a few of my familiar faces, of my regular scrappers. It was so great to see you. You know exactly who you are. So it was just so nice. And I filled them in on some upcoming classes that I'm doing. Debbie has booked me for some classes, so I'm very excited. Scrapbooking next month. And then we're going to do a candy cane Christmas wreath. So excited. Very, very excited. Because I love Christmas. And everybody needs to have a hobby. Especially during these times. If it's my hobby or someone else's hobby. I was talking to somebody who's doing all of their ancestry, and she's like, well, I have the time. This is, you know, who knows when I'll ever have the time like this again. She's like, I just can't meet people, because she just ended up finding some cousins of hers, but they live out of state, and they have to quarantine if they came to New York. And she's like, I don't really know if I really want them to come anyway. And I totally agree. So maybe everybody should just stay a little close to home, says the girl who's supposed to go away in June. Far away. So let's just hope by then things will be so much better. Oh, look at that. See, I had a little hole in there, so I went in there and I plugged that right up. Now you can't see anything. But when you cover the wreath base, it's a little bit less stressful to hide that green. Unless, like, let's just say for argument's sake, you were making this for spring. Green would be totally fine peeking through. If you were doing this all like in pretty blooms or pretty pastels. Oh, that sounds nice. That would definitely be a good thing. So we're just going to continue putting this all, whoops, I'm going to have a runaway there. Sometimes when you go to push it in, you already have a pin there, so it doesn't want to go in. And if your tails need to just be brought in a little bit, just bring them in and push them together a little bit. Just paper. Okay. Crisscross in here a little bit. Sometimes they're a little hard to get in, like I said. You could always just use your scissor to push the pin into, because if your fingers start to hurt you, I think my fingers are starting to hurt, but not from this, just from all the crafting projects that I've been working on. So busy, busy, busy. But it's such a fun busy. A great busy. I love it. And I know so many of you love it too. So that's awesome. crafting and then reading. It's been so, that's the highlight of the whole pandemic. That everybody's been able to read those books that they've been wanting to read. Crafting and catching up on some movies. I think they just published, somewhere I got something, notification about the Hallmark Christmas movies, so that's exciting. So, gotta have some sort of consistency, right? And then we'll be baking again, and all the weight that everybody lost because they were being good, you're gonna pack it back on again. I hope not. I hope not. I worked very hard. But baking for the holidays is definitely one of those family traditions. And it's too bad I like to taste test my stuff. That's why I'm glad that I don't make fancy cookies and fancy cakes. I tell people all the time, my goodness, could you imagine if I ate gifts? That wouldn't be good at all. And they look at me like I'm crazy, but they don't understand what I mean. Like the baking aisle at the store. I'm glad I don't really go down it too often. Okay, so you see, it's really nice and full, and you see it's all curly, but you can see that we're gonna need to add some. But again, we're doing the face of it first. So then we definitely know we have enough. It's a good way to do that. Well, it's a good way, I think, to do it. So you know you have enough. Okay. So we'll just keep going and curling and overlapping. You see how I'm overlapping it? It is very repetitive, but just think, like I always tell you, you'll be a professional when you're done. And that's all good. There you go. I think we need some more of these. Okay. And you see how they open, how this is open, you don't even really see that too much in here. And it is white, so that's okay. Even if it was another color, even better. Even better. Okay. In. I like to pick it up from time to time just to look at its hairiness to see how we're doing. But I know that I'm going to be needing more over here. But we're waiting. I want to go over there, but I know I want to finish the whole front first. On and in. It's like, don't even look there yet, sister. Definitely think I need a spider web. And you just have to keep looking to see which way you should go. And when it's on, you can totally twist it too. It doesn't really matter. I think this one's in need right here. I keep losing this over there, but I'm so afraid to move them to the front. Like I'll sneeze or something and they'll go everywhere. And that's the other thing, sneezing. Oh my gosh, you never want to do that in public. I wonder how that would be on Facebook. You guys would be like, oh my God, did you see her sneeze? Like craziness, craziness. You go into the food store and you go from one aisle to the next and you get a little bit close to the refrigerator section and man, you get a chill and you fight to sneeze because you don't want everybody looking at you. But, you know, I think we all just have to remember how it would feel if we had to sneeze when somebody else is sneezing. But, I don't know. It's just my silly thought. See, I can't seem to get this one in, so I'm going to take my scissor and just push it in to save my fingertips. Because they're starting to hurt a little bit. This one's rolled, but didn't roll good. Okay. And now look, I'm just going to start to put them down this side a little bit. Now over here, I have a lot of green showing, so I definitely am going to make that the top so that no one will see it, because that'll be higher. But I'm going to still put a whole bunch up there, just so in my mind I know it's all covered. I know that I must have used a lot of the spider webs because I have a lot of, not that many spider web ones left. See, this is my spider ones, my spider web ones. So sometimes you get heavy-handed on some and you don't even realize it, probably because I kind of did all of those already. So I'm just going to do some more. I don't know why, I just seem to go out of focus. Yeah. And if anybody has any questions, I will go back at the ends of after posting it and look and do that. And if by some chance, because I went back in and I looked at the other Facebook Lives that I've done to see if anybody had any comments. Thank you very much for all the wonderful comments. And again, I'm really hoping that it's just my iPad that's out of focus and it's not my phone. And if so, I have no idea why. I'm not moving the table. I'm trying to behave myself as much as possible. Just trying to get a little ahead here so I can just go do those sides. Yeah. You guys will be doing this in your sleep. At least it's an easy. I'm just going to look up here to see if it looks like it's in focus. Okay. Hoping it's going to be okay. All right. So, we're going to just get busy here. I don't know why I was going to do it that way. That was silly. And we're going to just do the ones down the sides. Okay. What? Okay. Just trying to see if I can see anything. Anybody's saying. I just see that people are watching, so I'm glad you're watching, and I hope that you like what you're seeing, because it's definitely a fun little wreath to do. So what I'm going to just do is I am going to stop doing this, because this is, like I said, so repetitive, and I'm going to move on to the decorative part. So you can see how this is all coming. I want to twist some around, and it will definitely be a little tighter like this one, okay? So, because I feel like I'm rushing these and going too far out. There we go. That was just getting a little too run away from itself, okay? Move these little guys on the side, and we're going to talk a little bit about the embellishment of here, of our little banner. I'm going to show you again the little banner, and I took a rectangle piece of paper. And of course I had a ruler so I could tell you the size, and I found it. You're going to take a rectangle, cut out a rectangle, and it's going to be about 2 1/4 wide by 3 1/4 long, and you are going to need 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to take your tape runner, and you are going to put adhesive on it, and you're going to actually, what I should try to tell you how to do is make these banners, what I was thinking of, and then I just got distracted. So I gave you the measurements of 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. You're going to make 5 of them, and then you're going to dovetail them. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the middle, and you're going to cut with your scissor, go to the edge and cut, and go with your edge and cut, and you will make 5 little banners. And where is my 5th one? I had 5 of them. Okay, of course I had 5 of them, and now I only can find 4 of them, because we're on live. That's just the way that it goes. Okay, so there's my 3, and that's going to say boo on there. So you could take some stickers, or you could, if you're lucky enough to have a Cricut, which is so lovely, you're going to cut out some letters or your stickers. They have stickers also at the Dollar Tree if you wanted to grab some there. They won't be in orange, but they'll be in black, so that'll be cute. Also, okay. And then I'm going to take my little ghost, and you can find little ghosts like an image, or you don't have to do that. And I have another little ghost to go on the end, but I can't seem to locate what that is, because I can't find my other black piece. But I actually think I see one extra one that earlier that maybe I just left on the other side of the room. Okay, so there I am, I'm back, and I made one ghost go one way, and now I'm going to do a ghost the other way. And now I'm going to just put everything together. And with the beauty of the crocodile, I'm going to be able to hole punch all the way through. So I'm going to use the larger hole for my crocodile. You could use a hole punch, whatever you have. Okay, and make 2 holes. Okay, rid of that. And then you're going to take some ribbon. And I always just take my scissor and cut the ribbon so that it has a point. And then you're going to take it and weave it. We're going to be working from right to left. So you're going to take your ribbon. You don't even have to trim your ribbon. You could have it on like the spool. And then you're going to take your ribbon and go, you want to go from the front to the back so you don't see a bulk of the ribbon unless you want to. And you keep going. Okay. All right. And front to back. Okay. And then if your end gets a little frayed, you can just trim it again. I try to save a pair of scissors. They don't have to be expensive scissors because these are from the Dollar Tree. You think I work at the Dollar Tree the way I plug them, but they have such good stuff and it's $1, so it's all good. And I just kind of save them for ribbon or fabric. There one. Okay. Or both, I should say, not either one. And then I'm going to go to the front of this one. And then the back. Okay. And then there's our little banner that says boo. And it could say anything that you need it to say for any holiday that you're doing. And what you're going to then do is you're going to take your wreath and you're going to take your ribbon and put your ribbon through. And you're just going to pin it. And you're going to do the same and pin it. And then you can trim the edges. Or if the ribbon is matching or coordinating, you don't even have to. It could be part of it all. But mine, I think I'm going to trim a little bit, even though it is coordinating. Okay. And now that's all on there. And now I'm just going to take the time and just finish up adding to my wreath all the way around. It's, I have a bent one there. I don't know what happened. And I'm going to go around and then just add things where I think it needs to be added and remove some. Like that one, I didn't like it there. It was just a little big. See what happens? They get a little too big. You just twirl it up a little bit and get it in here. For whatever reason, that one didn't want to twist so good. And that's why I was getting frustrated and I wanted to switch to the boo because I didn't like the way that my bottom of my wreath was coming out. Okay. So again, you're just going to go all the way around on your wreath. And use up the rest of your pieces of paper so that your wreath will look like this one. And you see how this one, I just have to tuck that in there. But when everything looks fabulous and it looks really cute, and that's really it. So I just wanted to share this cute little wreath with you. I don't think that you need to see me futz around with that anymore since it's so repetitive, and for whatever reason it looks like, there we go, I'm okay. I feel like I just keep freezing and I don't know why. So that is really about it. I just wanted to make sure I go over a couple dates and stuff with everybody, with some upcoming Facebook Lives that I'm doing. And I am going to be doing in November, I'm going to be doing this scrapbook layout, which is called Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. I don't know if it fits in there 100% in the screen together. This one is going to be on November 19th, which is a Thursday at 7 o'clock. And this one is going to have the kit at the library, and it is going to you'll be able to pick them up on the 5th of November, and each kit is $13 like it would have been normally. So there's going to only be 10 kits at the library. So they want to make sure that there's enough people out there that are interested in the scrapbooking layout. So if you're interested, get there ASAP on the 5th and see if you can get yours. Okay, and then another thing I want you to look out is this candy cane wreath form at the Dollar Tree. They only have so many of them, and this one is going to be on December 9th at 7 o'clock, and it's a Wednesday. So if you're interested in learning how to make the candy cane wreath with me, try to secure your form as soon as you can at the Dollar Tree. And again, it's $1. And I actually bought a couple extras. So if by some chance you can't find it, you can reach out to me and I can get one to you for the cost of $1. And that would be it. Again, I just picked up, I think, about 8 to 10 of them. So you can always reach out to me if you can't find one. All right, but then there'll be a materials list out for this. Okay, so I hope you guys had a great time tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed your wreath tonight, your little blue paper wreath, and I hope to see you again soon. And by then, maybe I'll figure out why I feel like I am freezing up, and or maybe it's just my iPad. I don't know, but that is that. Thank you again for joining, and I hope to see you soon. But I hope you see my video soon. All right, you take care of yourself, stay well, and take care. Bye.